Alright homies, welcome back. Legacy of Vader, Issue 4, Assault on Naboo. So our last issue ended with Vaneen telling Kylo Ren, hey, I'm on Naboo, please come meet me, we have more training. This issue starts with Hux and Kylo sitting on the bridge of the Finalizer. And Kylo asks Hux that since they lost Starkiller Base and the Supremacy, does the First Order still have the ability to destroy a planet? Guys, this issue's already dropping bombs. 3 issues ago, we were aboard the Supremacy. I love little lore drops like this because it was mostly intact after the holdout maneuver. But sometimes all I need is that one little line of dialogue to show why it's not in the next movie. Hux answers Kylo that it would be tough to reduce a planet to atoms, but they do have the Dreadnought cruisers. So they could score a planet of all of its inhabitants and its structures on it. And Kylo answers, good. Now, I don't know about you guys, but it's nice to hear about Dreadnoughts again, because in The Last Jedi, Poe brings them up, says that they're fleet killers, and that that's about it. Nothing more than that. And I know that I could go to a guidebook and I could figure out all about these things' capabilities and stuff, but it's nice to hear these things be discussed by characters within the lore. Now we cut back to 2 days earlier, with Kylo and Vaneen walking around Naboo. Kylo starts complaining that first they went to Tatooine, now they're in a ruined home. If Vaneen's point was to show Kylo that the galaxy's full of rot, mission accomplished. Worst road trip ever, guys. We're talking like the beginning of a Goofy movie. Rough. Vaneen answers Naboo was a center of culture and power in the galaxy. He also name drops the Santeca family and how they earned their money through hyperspace lane exploration. It was also ruled by a democratic monarchy, if you could even imagine such a thing. That's gonna be important later. He also explains that none other than Sheev Palpatine hailed from Naboo. Before he was Emperor, Sheev was a member of the Senate representing Naboo. His political influence helped the planet prosper. During the rise of the Empire, a monarchy was supplemented. Naboo was still wealthy and safe, but it came at a cost of their freedom. When the Empire fell, some clans felt like others profited from Palpatine's rule and needed to be punished. The planet basically fell into a faction war and was never the same again. Kylo interrupts Vaneen and tells him that he's been wasting his time, and he assumes that the mansion they've been walking around was Emperor Palpatine's. He doesn't care about Emperor Palpatine. He only cares about the man that killed him, his grandfather, Darth Vader. Vaneen retorts that he has not been wasting Kylo's time. On Tatooine, Kylo got to experience a little bit of Vader's pain, but here, the pain and power are much greater, for this is the place that Vader fell in love. Once Vader had Padme Amidala of Naboo, he never let her go. Kylo claps back at Vaneen. If I'm to understand Darth Vader, do I need to fall in love? Oh, Vaneen, you've crossed a line. And he begins to reach for his lightsaber. Vaneen begins to cower in a corner. Oh no, my prince. I didn't mean anything like that. It wasn't love that gave him power. It was the fear of loss. Once Vader let Padme become the center of his universe, his fear of losing her made it possible for him to do anything to keep her safe. He didn't limit himself like the Jedi did. For Vader, there were no rules. If Kylo had something to focus on, he would have no limit. Kylo quickly answers, I have no limits. Vaneen questions, is that true? You have everything you want? You don't desire anything else? Why'd you even come here with me? And if I'm wrong, please take your saber and strike me down. As he's probing, Kylo has a flashback of him and Rey fighting the Praetorian guards. Suddenly, they're interrupted by 2 people pulling a boat up onto the shore. They explain that Kylo and Vaneen need to leave this place because it's cursed. A beautiful queen used to live there, and then she left, and then she came back dead, and they had a huge funeral for her, and no one ever could figure out what actually happened to her. But then, a spirit of death came, and it tried to erase all memory of the queen. Ever since then, good people tell others that they need to avoid this place for fear that the evil spirit might return. Kylo tries to tell them that whole story's nonsense. They answer, maybe so, but the island isn't safe because of the spirit. It's not safe because of the bad people that moved in. They are then interrupted by another group of people telling them that everyone is trespassing. This is one of those other factions on Naboo. Kylo answers, oh, do you think so? And starts snapping necks and cashing checks, telling them this place might be cursed, but not for him. Somebody call an ambulance, but not for me. energy from the Supreme Leader. After he finished, the first two people that were trying to warn Kylo about the island start freaking out, telling him that he has no idea who he just killed, because there's going to be more, a lot more. Kylo questions why don't they just kill him? He did it with ease. They retort that Kylo just killed a member of the Varuna family, and that unfortunately on Naboo, lineage matters a lot. So they're gonna go back and hide. And if Kylo knew what was good for him, he'd do the same. As the couple sail away, Kylo tells Vaneen that he's wrong about Vader and Padme. Vader realized his past was a weakness and returned here to wipe it from existence. He understood something that these people clearly do not. You can't be governed by your past. As he says this, he reaches out his hand and force chokes the couple. It's very much like the principal from The Simpsons saying pathetic. If we're being honest, I feel like the artist did it on purpose. Cut back to the present with Kylo and Hux aboard the Finalizer. Hux asks Kylo, with all these questions, does he have a planet in mind? Kylo answers possibly, then asks Hux, how's the throne coming along? Hux stammers a little bit. Before he gets a real answer out, Kylo just storms off and leaves Hux face palming. Kylo then enters the next room and broadcasts the entire planet Naboo. He proceeds to tell them that their way of life is holding them back, and it's now time to embrace the future. For in the past, they've been ruled by queens and emperors, but now they have a king. Okay guys, so that wraps up issue 4. Overall, I did enjoy it, a lot of talking, although I thought the fight scene was actually kind of long with Kylo punching people, but he's just doing like John Wick punches and kicks, which is kind of weird. The other disappointment is that they changed artists. I will admit, I'm not super big on the art, but overall, I am interested. I think it's really interesting that we got a flashback with Rey. Last issue, I thought that, oh man, that's gotta be over. Kylo's like embracing the dark side, but no. Maybe Rey is that little light of hope, his focal point, as Vaneen says. That maybe Kylo is willing to do anything for that scavenger out in the desert. So, not my favorite issue, but still enjoying myself. I think I give this a 7 out of 10 because not a lot did happen, but cool Vader flashback and the art did pull it down a little bit for me. Homies, if you enjoy this kind of content, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. And next month, all hail the king, baby.